program. Joining us now, Chris Tonto Peranto. He's one of the Benghazi heroes, and he saved so many people. On September the 11th, 2012, he has a brand new book out, The Ranger Way. Hamody Jasim is with us, author of The Terrorist Whisperer, the story of the pro-American trusted intelligence asset, fought Islamic terrorism all his life in Iraq. And Hamody was the first Iraqi to be certified as an anti-terrorism and first protection expert and certificate recipient, and as an expert on anti-terrorism. Welcome, both of you. We appreciate you being here. Let me start with the unmasking issue. By the way, are you hungover like the last time you were in my studio?
I'm good. I feel good, actually.
The last time you came in the studio, you had no sleep.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The last time you came in the studio, you told me you had no sleep, that you were out partying like a crazy man all night.
I was not partying. I was in the gym all night working out.
And
it didn't reflect that when I walked in.
And what were you drinking in the gym?
Water.
Yeah.
Some clear liquid that had a little brownish
Why
tint.
do I feel like you and I were brothers in a different life? I mean, we are so remarkably the same. It's crazy.
Thanks for that picture. You choking me out, too. That went viral. I really
Did it go
appreciate
viral?
Oh, yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Man.
Thank you.
Oh, boy. It actually gives me a truthful image, because that's how I am in real life, messing around all the time. All right, but let me ask you, I mean, when you talk about unmasking an intelligence, when you talk about leaking intelligence, when you talk about maybe weaponizing the intelligence community for political purposes, how scary is that?
You're giving them, they're untouchable, is what you're saying right now. You're saying, and believe me, I have no love for the former CIA director, Brennan. I don't think he did us right as well with the Benghazi incident. But it gives them carte blanche to do what they want. You don't spy on Americans. And what were we doing? Were we putting more emphasis on spying on Americans because of a campaign? Or are we trying to get intel from our enemies so we can go and kill terrorists? It just, where does our priorities lie? And with Brennan and with the other Democrats out there, liberals, with this unmasking, for a political party, it's disturbing, and it is un-American. And it's something that we need to stand up and hold him accountable for. And I think President Trump could do that. But I know he's got his hands full right now. But it's one of the things that needs to happen. The same with Mike Pompeo over there, the new CIA director.
Hamody, you understand intelligence, obviously, your years. I mean, you fought Islamic terrorism all your life. And, on top of that, you were the first Iraqi certified as an anti-terrorism and first protector. And so you know how sophisticated our intelligence gathering is. How dangerous is it if our intelligence community, or just a few, I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but a couple of unsavory characters use it for nefarious purposes?
Just like as Chris mentioned earlier, that we needed to stop concentrating on Americans and concentrate on the real enemy that's making a huge threat to the United States. ISIS and the Islamic State right now is the biggest threat to the United States, and we're not concentrating on what they're doing. Talking about the Manchester attack, this was an example to show you that fighting ISIS in Iraq and Syria is a lot different than fighting in your own homeland. We are not collecting enough information. ISIS recruiters are all over our communities, recruiting young children between the age of 17 years old to 22 years old. And what are we doing to stop these kind of recruiting processes? This is an example showing you that what happened in the UK, that we do not have any type of collected intelligence when it comes to the enemy. So I do agree with Chris that we need to stop concentrating on Americans, and we need to take a look at the real enemy that is closer to us right now. And this is ISIS and the Islamic State is a very different organization than al-Qaeda. These guys are concentrating on the longevity of their organization. They are not looking just to take a building in New York City anymore. They're looking to be in our country for 50 to 100 years from now. And what are we doing to collect intelligence on our enemy? And that's an example to show you what happened in the UK, that we do not have any intelligence. We do not have any process to collect intelligence or have any intelligence sources within our enemy communities or within our own homeland. And that is even more dangerous than fighting ISIS in their own territories.
All right, stay right there, both of you. And when we come back, we'll talk more about this and how can they be advancing a theory that there's no evidence for, as we played that montage again. 800-941-SEAN. Listen, all of us need a safe. If you have a firearm, you got to protect your firearms. You got to keep it in a safe and protect it and keep your family safe. And then you have valuables. You want to put those in your safe. And then you have important documents, your passport, your baptismal certificate, your birth certificate, all important stuff. The number one safe, and I know because I researched it long before they ever became an advertiser on the show, is Liberty Safe. They're just the best. And right now, Liberty is pulling out all the stops with their Memorial Day sales event with savings up to $400, up to a whopping $665 off. This is the time to get your Liberty Safe at libertysafe.com or at any one of their 350 authorized dealers nationwide. Now, not only will they have these great sale prices, they'll also give you 12 months interest-free on approved credit. Now, that's a huge savings, 12 months interest-free on top of all of that. It's their Memorial Day sales event. It lasts only through this coming Monday. $665 off the #1 rated Lincoln Safe plus 12 months interest free. You can't do any better. I've got 3 handgun vaults strategically placed around my house, which keeps it safe from anybody that goes near it. Nobody can open it. And owning a Liberty Safe has never been easier. These are the best prices they've ever had. You need a safe. Get one. Get Liberty. Just go to libertysafe.com and you'll save big. libertysafe.com. Quick break. Right back. We'll continue.
Fighting the Trump-hating liberal media one day at a time. This is the Sean Hannity Show. Check out Sean live every weekday from 3 to 6 Eastern here on iHeartRadio.
No time to go to the optometrist? Well, eyewear maker Warby Parker has an app for that. Landon Dowdy has more on the story.
Warby Parker wants to help you skip a trip to the eye doctor. It's testing a new prescription check app that uses your phone and computer in tandem to perform a 20-minute series of tests. They're reviewed by an optometrist who will make the final call on your prescription. For now, the app is only available to people 18 to 40 in California, Florida, New York, and Virginia who already have Warby Parker glasses. I'm Landon Dowdy.
Space may be the final frontier, but if the Trump administration gets its way with funding, exploring space and monitoring Earth's changing climate could be curtailed. Under Trump's spending proposal, funding for NASA would be reduced by $561 million, but NASA acting administrator Robert Lightfoot is calling the budget, quote, very positive. The plan would give the space agency just under $19.1 billion. It would close the NASA Office of Education and cut 5 Earth science missions measuring climate change. It would also halt plans for a mission to retrieve part of an asteroid. Congress looks to the presidential spending plan as a recommendation, but will almost certainly change large portions of the budget. Lowe's is having a disappointing first quarter. Shares in Lowe's tumbled 7% in early trading after first quarter earnings fell below Wall Street expectations. The home improvement chain has been trying to catch up with its biggest competitor, Home Depot. Earlier this year, Lowe's laid off more than 500 corporate employees in an effort to streamline the company and boost profitability. And interest rates are the lowest in 6 months, and that has more people refinancing their mortgages. Refinance applications jumped 11% last week as the national average interest rate fell 6 basis points to 4.17%. Consumer and Business News, Ted Asragadu, NBC News Radio.
Facebook will let you partner up on live stream, as you could now ask a friend to join and share the live stream screen even when you're not in the same place. In addition, live streaming users can now start a direct message with one of their viewers so they can have a private chat during the broadcast. IKEA is getting connected. The Swedish home retailer says its smart lighting system will soon be compatible with some of the most common smart home hubs on the market, including Apple HomeKit, Google Home, and Amazon's Alexa. Brides-to-be can now pick up their handcrafted items at Amazon. The new handmade wedding shop will stock thousands of handcrafted items like invitations, gifts, and decorations. Instagram is an important tool for younger job seekers. Recruiter JobVite says almost a third of 18 to 29-year-olds in their survey say they use the photo sharing site to preview companies they're interested in. Overall, 25% of people use Facebook to research a prospective company, and 23% use LinkedIn. Tech Report, Larry Olson, NBC News Radio.
The terrorist bombing in Manchester, England, in which tweens and teens were killed, is resonating with parents and young people all over the world. Child psychologist Dr. Adam Stein says it's important to validate children's fears.
It's okay to be scared while at the same time helping them understand that we're here to protect them.
While it's a tough choice to make, parents know that going to concerts and sporting events is part of life. A spokesperson with Girls Inc. in Westchester, New York says it's also important not to sweep what happened in Manchester under the rug when talking to kids. The American Legion is pushing President Trump to ease up on marijuana. They want it removed from the list of substances that have a high potential for abuse. The Vets Group says scores of veterans have stories about medical marijuana helping them through PTSD or to cope with physical injuries. Health updates, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
The defending NBA champion Cavaliers just a win away from a return trip to the finals. Cleveland overcoming a 10-point halftime deficit for a 112-99 win over the Celtics in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Ohio. LeBron James saying it was all about Kyrie Irving.
He showed why he's one of the best point guards in the league. He commanded us, to be better, especially in the second half.
Irving dropped 42 on the night, including 21 points in the third quarter. The Cavs can close out the Celtics tomorrow night in Boston. The Warriors are waiting. On the ice, there will be a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Final. The Senators grab a 2-1 win over the Penguins in Ottawa. NFL owners are approving several rule changes. Overtime will be shortened from 15 minutes to 10. The league also easing up on touchdown celebrations. New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. is signing the richest shoe contract in NFL history at $5 million per season. And NFL Hall of Fame defensive tackle Cortez Kennedy, dead at the age of 48. That's sports. Jake Orwin, NBC News Radio.
Sean Hannity on iHeartRadio.
All right, as we continue, Sean Hannity Show, 800-941-SEAN, toll-free telephone number. You want to be a part of the program as we continue with Chris Tonto Peranto, one of the Benghazi heroes, and Hamody Jasim is with us. You wrote The Ranger Way. I want to be a Ranger. You told me last time you wouldn't have me as a Ranger. What's up with that?
I don't. When did I say that? You're putting words in my mouth.
I don't said I'm too strong and that I choked you out and that you couldn't handle it and that I was way too powerful.
That's exact. Well, there you go, right there. That's why. What the? You know what? We're gonna go at it again when we're done here.
Promise?
Yeah, promise, right here on the floor.
What happened? That didn't work out from the last time we went at it. I mean, I don't know.
You're killing me. I can't. Why don't even?
Well, what is the Ranger Way? I mean, you teach people how to be a Ranger.
No,
what does that mean?
No. It's
what is the Ranger Way?
There are so many books out there that military books that show how do you be a SEAL, how to be a Ranger, and a lot of it has to do with that military side. And you can't do that. You can't just. This needs to apply to everybody within the civilian world and everybody in the military world, because we're all the same. We're nothing special. It's only thing about me than anybody else. But it's about persevering. It's about never quitting. It's about hitting an obstacle and not stopping, which our young continue to do because of the snowflake generation, the participation trophies. Those are we're getting weaker as a society. And the Ranger Way is about being able to fail, pick yourself back up, and succeed. Never stop. You never quit.
Nobody ever escapes life, do they?
No, you can't.
People have been talking to me recently. Hannity, you're under fire. Hannity, you're under fire. I'm like, yeah, okay, and nobody escapes life. That's life. I'm like, welcome to my life.
You take the brunt of it, and you're a winner, and you drive on through. It's an obstacle.
Drive on. And if you can't do it, you can't live life. And all right, let me go to Hamody. Tell me about your book, The Terrorist Whisperer, the story of being a pro-American trusted intelligence asset in Iraq.
I was just honored to save as many American soldiers that I can in Iraq during my work in Iraq. I was recruited by the U.S. intelligence in 2005 as an intelligence asset. I just happened to be working at a vital location in Iraq at the time, and it happens to be the same building where al-Qaeda leadership and Islamic State leadership was operating in the same building. I was honored to be in the U.S. side to fight against these terrorist organizations, to be able to eliminate their threats against our U.S. soldiers in Iraq. My job was to protect these Americans of all costs and get them home as much as I can. And the difference is I was born and raised there. I understand the language. Iraq was the kind of country at the time that didn't have any digital database, so there was no way for you to know who is who unless you know them by face and know a little bit about their background. And something that the U.S. intelligence were lacking in Iraq at the time, it was street-level intelligence. And that was the reason why they couldn't have it, because we didn't have any digital database. And my job was to get them to intelligent information that the American intelligence couldn't get or didn't have any access to. So battling them in the intelligence level was just a different kind of fight. I would stand about 5 feet to a terrorist to know their activities, to know what they're up to. And the whole point is to know what their next step is. So that way American lives does not have to be taken and no Americans get harmed.
All right. I got to let you both go. Great books. We put them both on Hannity.com. Even